All right, guys, we're gonna get started in about a minute here. Thank you all so much for showing up. So yeah, a lot of similarities to 2019 that I definitely want to talk to you guys about. So there's quite a few things that I want to mention today on this lovely Sunday. Um, so yeah. What's up? What's up? Oh man, I gotta learn that language. I'm not. Where are you from? What's up, Mega Smash? Appreciate you. Always appreciate you guys. What's up, Mega Smash? 100. Antonio, what's up? What's up? I do think that 25 200 weekly is definitely in the cards. I do think it's a decent likelihood. Obviously, anything could happen, but we'll talk about it in like 1 second here. Um, so yeah, really appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So a couple of things we want to talk to. So the first thing, like what the title of this stream is kind of based off of is, you got the bearish div here. Here's like a 3 bearish div, kind of as you're coming up a little bit higher here. I mean, obviously a lot of this was Silicon Valley Bank. So if you could kind of compare this to what I would say, if you could kind of compare this to 2019 a little bit, look at the last time. Look at what happened in 2019. It was kind of like a 3 bullish, bearish div here. And shout out to Gam Lao, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, or better known as maybe Andrew in the exclusive Discord, for pointing this out. It was something I was looking at as well. But this kind of, he pointed out the triple one. It's kind of a rare bearish sign in a sense. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to come down. But if you were to do something like this, say this is the top of our 2023 rally or whatever, if you were to repeat something like this, that's a double bottom towards the end of the year, and that would be kind of similar to what we saw, similar to what we saw here. If you don't really factor in the pandemic, that's something similar to what we saw. So that's definitely in the cards here. If you also look at, it was 3, kind of the same thing here, like a 3 bullish div right there. And that was just about the top. You did come up a little bit higher to 4K there. But in that area, that was just about the top. You were getting very very close to that area. And if we kind of backtest this maybe a little bit more here, it definitely does not happen very often. Definitely does not happen very often. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the bearish case. Now let's talk about a little bit more of the bullish case. Would be, you see this pattern, blue triangle, green dot, and you see the RSIs. They're kind of at the same place before you had another rally up. This would be the case for 40K if you're looking at this, kind of the 40K area. And the money flow is coming up in here. So the weekly is probably, I would say the weekly is a little bit more bullish, I would say. Other than the VWAP kind of coming back down here, I would say the weekly is a little bit more bullish. The other thing here is it did take 2 red dots to give you a top. About to get that next one pretty soon. So that's a more bearish view on the weekly, but in terms of money flow, in terms of how these RSIs are, the weekly would be probably still a tiny bit more bullish. 2-week would be, I would say, still a bit more bearish. Like it kind of wants to come down with this VWAP and give us, a red dot here. I would give that time frame to be a bit more bearish. 3-week would be very neutral here. Not too much to say based on that. I mean, I guess with the green, well, not on the 3-week, but really on the monthly, the green dot, that would be a little bit more bullish, assuming we don't roll over and get a red dot, relatively soon here. So, that's the thing we gotta keep in mind here. Also, you do have on the daily, this is about to get the bearish div as well. So in terms of that, well, this may not actually be a bearish div because that's going to be lower in that one, but 2-day will give us it. 2-day will definitely give us it from that area. So you do have those. You do have those. Other thing here is you are coming into the green on the 16-hour and the 12-hour. This is confirmed here. That's a bearish div that was just confirmed, and I am playing this out in my exclusive Discord. I do have some good trades in that will really capitalize on whatever kind of happens in this market, I think. So if you guys are interested, a link in the description below. We have a really good community there. Let's see here. And, you know, that kind of area there. And then if we look at the 5 hours, this would be a bit more bearish too. Money flow crossing down. Looks like these EMAs are going to maybe start to turn gray again. You could probably see the same thing on the, if there's a load on the 4 hour, the EMAs are not, you know, market separate. That's coming out. So I would look a bit more bearish. Now, what could happen here? Probably a lot of people are entering shorts because of this. So, and there are a lot of liquidations that remain at about 29.5. So I could see us getting a jump up to that area. I could see us getting a jump up to that area. Probably me and a lot of, you know, you do have the snake eyes here in the hourly. Probably me and a lot of, you know, other YouTubers maybe are starting to talk about the bearish things coming up. But then what happens, you know, then a lot of people short, and then you get a, you know, a short squeeze up to maybe this area, you know, 29.6, maybe even kind of there, 29.5, that area, and then you could continue downward. I don't know if we're going to get that high, but in the short term here, money flow starting to come up on the 15. You know, like a lot of shorts are probably entered pretty recently. And I mean, the big place, probably a lot of people have stop losses, would be here. So you do have to be careful with that. I'm kind of not thinking you'd come much above 29.5 here, but yeah, that's what we're looking at there. And if we move on to, you know, kind of Ethereum, or just let's look at ETH Bitcoin first, because this is, you know, probably bearish in all kind of ways. Weekly EMA is turning gray. That's coming out. There's just, it's bearish in a lot of places. And, you know, in terms of ETH Bitcoin, I think that's going to continue to bleed. I think ETH is going to continue to bleed against Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to get the altcoin season. What I think is going to happen is I think we're going to see a pullback here. And I think that pullback, its alts are going to really bleed against Bitcoin, and this is going to continue forward, and we're finally going to break above the high 40s, probably break even above 50 or something like that. In the next few weeks, I think, assuming we get that pullback. I'm not 100% sure we will, but I think, you know, I think we will ultimately get that pullback, even though if it's, you know, that jump up to 29.5 before that happens. So I think that's what's going to happen, and I think a lot of the alts, I don't think we're going to get that altcoin season a lot of people are hoping for. I guess the main case, you need Bitcoin dominance to come down for the altcoin season. The main case would be all of these look bearish, but in terms of the higher time frames, it looks even bearish too. So yeah, I mean, I guess it could come down, yeah. But I'm kind of thinking he may finally continue forward. It's been 1, 2, 3 times kind of here. Maybe you'd come down a little bit. Maybe you'd come down a little bit and the last kind of pump up a little bit, and then you'd start to, you know, start to come back up. But that's the potential here. Let's see, what's up, honey drippers? Oil hit 81 today. Let's see, BRICS, macro effect on USD. It's not good for the US dollar, but I think, you know, a lot of that's already priced in. I think the US dollar could potentially get a bounce here. Kind of a dead cat bounce, but I think ultimately next 5 to 10 years for it is not going to be too good. Let's see, go back to 25K. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing. And then I look tired. I was just at the beach, but no, I'm not too tired, Jamie. Got plenty of energy. And then if we look at, let's just see, I'm trying to see here. One last shakeout, honey drippers. Yeah, potentially. So let's see here. Let's look at ETH potentially. You know, it's kind of a lot of the same as, let's see here. Yeah, that potential with Bitcoin. So that one bearish div, and then you're going to get, this one isn't, so it's a little bit different than Bitcoin. This one is a little bit higher here, not as low. So that's that, not as bad in that respect, but the daily is going to get pretty decent, you know, bearish div on the daily from there. And let's see, so money flow is coming up right there. And this jump right here, right to that, well, not jump, but in terms of money flow, just like Bitcoin, in terms of money flow, Well, I mean, this was when it crossed over. This was bearish. It came down. In terms of RSIs, you got a little left. We'll see if it could play out like that. Um, there are a lot of liquidations up at these areas around 19, so it is possible we could come up there, before coming down a bit more. Like I was saying with Bitcoin, probably a lot of shorts were entered pretty recently, just because things have been looking more bearish. So in the short term, it wouldn't surprise me if, looking at this money flow, it wouldn't surprise me if we are able to continue upward here. Also, you do have the snake eyes on the hourly, which, let's see if we get back test the snake eyes. Pray it doesn't come up too often. Yeah, right here, so more of a bearish sign there, but that was back in March, or back a few weeks ago, or yeah, almost a month ago. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right there. And we looked at Bitcoin dominance, looked at that kind of thing right there. Let's see. And then, if we look at let's look at the Dixie. Let's look at oil and the Dixie. So I think somebody said oil was up to, where is it? 81. Was it? I don't know. What were you looking at? Let's see. Oh, it was like crude oil. Yeah, okay. So I don't know if you could you trade this one itself, or do you have to find the ETFs? But yeah, I mean, the thing with the oil being up is obviously the Fed's not going to like that, and that's going to make them kind of raise rates, and then you get more kind of stagflation as the market comes down some more, which I think, kind of may happen. But this doesn't look half bad here, so this looks like it's got a little bit more. And I think we're starting to see inflation kind of come up, come back and force the Fed to kind of start to be a little bit more hawkish to save the dollar. And especially, I think the Fed is a little bit nervous too about all these things happening. Countries stopping using the dollar, switching over to Chinese yuan, I think it is, excuse me. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of what, that's kind of what the Fed wants to avoid. So maybe we could, do some things to really bring this down, start to really bring down inflation, maybe hit off of 86 or 88 here. To bring it down. I mean, this has been down pretty straight down since June, and I don't think these EMAs will turn bright here and you'll continue forward. I think you'll probably bounce off 85 and continue lower as we come into the recession, but that's what I'm looking at right now. Now if we look at the DXY, I'm thinking more of like dead cat bounce here, and dead cat bounce meaning something of this nature. I'm still thinking that a little bit more. I could be wrong, but I just think like a lot of people are probably like short on the Dixie right now. They think America's losing world reserve currency. What happens when everybody's talking about that? Usually dead cat bounce, usually, not always, but usually. Daily money flow coming up and all these LXs look for slow exhaustion. This would be a good potential look at a potential jump up here. 4-hour money flow pretty good. So I think I wouldn't give this blood diamond too much credence. I think we can continue forward here, and I think we'll see a pullback with S&P 500, Nasdaq as well, and crypto most likely. That's what I think. So let's see here. Dump into Good Friday, go long on Easter, new volume, Good Festival. Interesting. That could be it. That could be what happens. Let's see. What's up, David? RPG? I don't know RPG. Maybe we could look at it in a little bit. If we look at, some of the Cardano or whatever. This has been a nice jump up. Yeah, I mean, in terms of coming in, this whole thing in the environment, every time it comes into green, you just come down on the money flow in the 2 days. So that's what we got to keep in mind, be careful with. Weekly does look pretty good. Cardano looks a lot better. Like if I was going to gamble on one of them right now, it would probably be Cardano. If I was going to mess with an altcoin, probably would be Cardano. It looks a lot better than most of them, especially better than Solana. So yeah, I mean, this looks, trigger wave right there. This blood diamond right there. I do think Solana may continue to get kind of hit hard here, but I'm thinking Cardano may be able to hold up kind of well. Cardano looks a lot better than a lot of. I'm curious about Polkadot. This doesn't look as bad. Yeah, this doesn't look half bad. I mean, I guess these would kind of give you the kind of case for all season. like Cardano, like Polkadot. But Solana, no way. Solana does not look like that right now. You can also look at XRP, which has been doing well. And then, I mean, you're seeing a little bit of a pullback off the top of this kind of trend line, this area right here around 50 cents. Big psychological area. I mean, 50 in the 50 cents area. The weekly does look like a little, you may have a little bit of continuation, but the concerning thing hit here is that it's kind of like, in terms of like this money area, it's kind of like we already got to that point because you see the trigger wave right there. And then, you know, kind of as soon as that confirmed, you're almost done. You know what I mean? Maybe one last wick up, but you're almost done. Kind of like that rally and, you know, into July of 2019. And there's a lot of similarities too with Bitcoin from 2019 to now, kind of. So there's a lot of similarities, similarities there, in my opinion. So yeah, and let's see, and yeah, let's look at BNB. What's up, burnt floor? Yeah, let's look at BNB. So what I think here, and this is just in a really large ascending wedge. Usually these two do tend to break a bit more bearish, and I think you're eventually going to break bearish downward here. It's just kind of a matter of time. This has just done nothing for the longest time. I think CZ's, a lot of rumors of it going down. I think we just keep kind of getting dead cat bounces with this. You know what I mean? Nothing really happens because everyone's trying to short it when the bad news comes out. But I think eventually it will, start to come down. $50 billion market cap. I mean, let's see if we were to come down. $25 billion market cap. I think you may end up there. Sub 200 potentially here. Maybe not though. I mean, the weekly doesn't look terrible. I mean, that's what we got to look at there. So, but as of right now, money flow starting to kind of curve up there. I would say neutral to a bit more bearish. That's what I would say. Let's see. XL. Yeah, I wanted to look at Monero. We could look at. I'll go look at Gala too. Don't worry. Trigger wave there. It doesn't look bad on the weekly. Looks like we come up a little bit more. That'd be an ugly kind of bear trap. Excuse me if that doesn't it doesn't play out. In terms of this, pretty neutral there. I mean, that's the thing too, because when you've been this sideways for so long, since August, like you're not going to see too much. I mean, it's just going to look more neutral. A little bit more bullish there. Trigger wave coming up. Excuse me. But, yeah. Let's look at Gala, sure. And then the weekly, yeah, I mean, you got the trigger wave there. This looks pretty good, actually. This looks better than a lot of the other altcoins. I mean, you got trigger wave data, it's a little conflicting. I mean, that three day and 2 day especially looks pretty damn good. But I mean, look at what happened here. It's like the same freaking thing, trigger wave, and then shoot right back down. So, I mean, we could be over that, and we could come up. I mean, I know some people think we're going to see a new all-time high with everything, and in early next year. So I don't think it's going to be that soon, but I guess it's possible if we kind of continue this bull run and continue to 40K here. But most likely what I'm seeing, and it could take time for these things to play out, but it does look a bit more bearish right now, like we would kind of reject from these areas. Yeah, we could look at ApeCoin a little bit. Went up there. Money flow coming up. I'd be more neutral to a little bit more bearish on this probably. But it's a little neutral. I would say overall this kind of looks neutral. There's not really much to say on this. Maybe a little bit more bearish. Looks like there's going to roll over here into the red again like he did back here, you know what I mean? And then come down farther. That would be kind of my guess, but yeah. DAG. This one almost looks like it wants to come down farther to do the bubble pop pattern. Yeah. These altcoins are like left in the dust of Bitcoin. Not even close to its February high there. Yeah. This doesn't look, definitely looks a lot worse than like Cardano or some of the ones I said was looking good. Weekly looks kind of neutral to maybe a little bit more bullish if you get that blue dot, but I don't know. So that's what I'm looking at right there. I wanted to look at NASDAQ, like traditional markets a little bit to see if there's like any signs that, so I just want to see if we're like hitting anything big first of all. So yeah, I was thinking double top there and we'd start to come down. That didn't come to fruition. Not yet, at least. You may get, kind of off of where we are now, a bearish div on the 2-day. Maybe not, though. Jim Cramer's been right about this so far. He said he can't stop the NASDAQ. And it was a good call on his part. Kind of neutral there, yeah. Weekly not bad. That's the thing, too. If this weekly could get all bright, then you're looking at more of like avoiding a recession. But this would be kind of the turning point here a little bit. Because if we look at this weekly, take a mental note of how... Yeah, take a mental note of how these are turning bright here. And let's go back to .com bubble. Well, this area too, kind of. That'd be interesting, yeah. But really, right here, kind of, it's more bright now, but it's kind of, you know what I mean? Then you kind of roll over. Kind of that area is roll over. That's kind of my guess right now, but we will see. I mean, it definitely in terms of money flow doesn't look terrible. I would think this is going to roll over this VWAP, and I would think the same thing would probably happen with the S&P 500 as well. This looks a little bit worse, and these RSIs are getting tight, or EMAs are getting tight, excuse me. So I do think that, I do think we're going to go into a recession. It's just, kind of more elongated. It could take longer. It could be like maybe we're just over here, kind of. You know what I mean? We may have more. This could be just the tip of the iceberg here. Let's see. H-bar. So I think the time to get into ETH would be a minimum probably like June, July. And then I think you're going to have a really good 2024 against Bitcoin for ETH, I think. I think 2024 is going to be a good year for ETH. At least ETH against Bitcoin. Let's see, H-bar. So, yeah, I mean, this was one of... Money flow's coming up there. Weekly doesn't look half bad. I mean, you kind of did your bubble pop pattern. That looks not bad. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good. This looks better than a lot of other ones. This would be one of the few I would probably give it a shot on if I was to buy alts right now, but I just think Bitcoin is going to continue to outperform the majority of them. Unless we get a big altcoin season. But these would be the kind of case for that big altcoin season. Because look at the main pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ELXs. Look for cell exhaustion. Trigger wave, money flow coming up. That looks pretty good. That does look pretty good. And it looks like you may be able to continue forward here. Maybe. So, yeah. I'm just curious about H-bar, Bitcoin. How does that... yeah, you're hitting a big point there too. That's one load. And this is kind of coming up. That's, yeah, I mean, that strategy worked most of the time here in terms of money flow there against Bitcoin. So we'll see here. We'll definitely see. McDonald's was doing layoffs too, I think. It was, where was it? US dollar consumed was the power, yeah. I do think kind of, I could be completely wrong in this. Maybe this is just me being, a little bit too, against what news articles say or, too against, the masses or whatever. But I do think, you may get a dead cat bounce with the US dollar, and I think that's going to be kind of catalyzed by the Fed just starting to be a bit more hawkish, or at least sounding more hawkish and raising, 25 basis points next time, maybe even the time after as well. And I think that could give the DXY a nice jump up. economics, yeah, it's inevitable. Yeah, U.S. dollar. I mean, it will eventually lose, reserve currency status, but yeah. Let's see here. Like Russian oil above price gap, yeah. Let's see, so it's Fox Business, and then, yeah, more layoffs. So I generally think, like, what'll bring the economy down, what'll bring the stock market down is going to be a lot of layoffs and, things other than inflation in the next, 6 to 12 months. You may not bottom for traditional markets until like summer 2024. Yeah, and all these people are running. Trump's going to get the nomination so easily, probably. That's probably what you'll see. You'll probably see a bottom in like early to mid 2024 for like traditional markets. And then you'll definitely be in a recession. The main argument of Trump is like we're still in a recession. The main argument of like is that main argument of Biden is that we're out of the recession. It's recovering. So yeah, but I think Trump will probably beat Biden. All right, let's see. Cosmos. Yeah, I want to look at Cosmos. That's one of my favorite ones. So, I mean, in terms of this kind of pattern here, this doesn't look good at all in the weekly. This looks like different than a lot of other things too. I mean, you do have the, is this a bullish div? Yeah, you do have the bullish div printing right now in the 2-day. That could be the catalyst for the altcoin season if it does happen. It kind of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to get that here. But in terms of this weekly, I don't think this is going to play out too well. I could potentially see this going to $5 still, making a lower low kind of towards the end of the year. That could be potentially what we see here. If it's like this, if we're kind of topping out here, if it's kind of like this area, that's kind of my main guess potentially. And then you'd probably test either the 300 or the 400 weekly moving average, or maybe 400 or 500 weekly moving average for Bitcoin. I want to get up a chart with a little bit more data for Bitcoin just to show you guys the the moving averages. I want to see where the 500 would be towards the end of the year, because that would be a really, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what's going to happen, obviously. But, I mean, it's just an educated guess. But in terms of where this would be towards the end of the year, 13K could be a potential kind of double bottom. Maybe it's like this kind of, well, like this, but more gradually down, you know what I mean, based on the recession, and then you hit here. I mean, on the bright side, if it is in 2024, it'll be like 14K or something potentially. So, yeah. What's up, ABC? Avalanche, yeah, let's look at Avalanche and Stellar. I think Avalanche is kind of becoming a dead project, or Stellar, excuse me. Avalanche still has potential, I would say. Let's see here. And then we do have the Head and Shoulders here, and then you got the technical target down there. Yeah, I mean, if it does play out that way, that's what you'd be looking at. Now, these time frames do look freaking not bad at all. Like the 3-day, 2-day here, trigger wave, like these do not look bad. But I mean, yeah, it's like a little bit conflicting. Like, I mean, the weekly looks as if trigger wave, you come down farther, and then if you go to the 3-day, the 2-day, those look like we got some green skies ahead. This trigger wave wasn't anything too good though. He's got the blood diamond after, and that came down. It's like the opposite there. That's interesting. It's like a Stellar. This has probably been such an underperformer, yeah. So yeah, the weekly, a lot of these are conflicting. I mean, the weekly looks good here. The weekly does look pretty good on Stellar. 3 weeks looks pretty good with that bullish div. That almost looks like you bottomed out here. I don't know, is there anything good happening with Stellar? Do you guys like Stellar? Because this looks better in a lot of other things. I'll say that. How much did you pump up? 58%? Excuse me. Oh, let me turn my thing up here. Let's see. Don't know much about Stellar. So let's see here. Talking loudly, it's my gain. I'm getting a standing desk like tomorrow or Tuesday, and then I got the boom like adjustable thing for the microphone, so it's gonna be much better, and I'll be standing up, so it'll be much better. But yeah, let's see. Bitcoin, DAI, AVAX, Near, I'll go Uniswap here. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. I'd like to look at. Let's look at Link. So Chainlink, yeah, it's like that same kind of, we just haven't done anything. I mean, it's like a lot, well, 2-day, 3-day look neutral here, but on some this would look a little bit more bullish with the trigger rate, but more neutral than like some of the other good ones we looked at, you know what I mean? Just nothing too significant has happened here in a long time, so, trend is your friend. This is a very sideways trend. I mean, it's either going to break up or break down. I mean, with the 3-week, you would think down, and then you kind of hit these areas, but that's kind of my main guess towards like the end of the year potentially to come to these. But yeah, PYR. Yeah, I mean, you're starting to show some sign. I mean, trigger wave there, but you're starting to show some signs of recovery here, I guess, in that 2-day especially. Not even, though. This doesn't look as good as some of the other ones we've looked at today. Crypto Itachi. Let's see, AVAX, Near, Uniswap. Uniswap's been an underperformer, I think. Yeah, it just wasn't... Weekly's nothing too special. Definitely doesn't look as good as some of the other ones right now. It just looks like it'll continue sideways or something. Either sideways bearish, I would say. It's kind of that same pattern. CBDC. Yeah, potentially. Decentralized exchange, yeah. Probably a few years before we see that, though. So let's see here. Let's see. XRP Army. Stellar is 17. I don't even know. What is Stellar at right now? We looked at Stellar a second ago. I mean, you hit 12. If you were to go to 17, if you go into an altcoin season potentially, I don't really know. This does look pretty good. I mean, if you wanted to give it a, yeah, right there is that moving average. If you wanted to give it a shot, I mean, this would be one of the few. This and Cardano look pretty good. It's a little weird because some of them don't look too good, but yeah, not sure. Oh, we have to look at Doge. So this hasn't done much aside from break out of this wedge and try to come back and then kind of get rejected from it right now. Doesn't look terrible on the weekly. I don't know. A bit more neutral, I would say. It looks like it's just going to continue sideways here for a little bit. Kind of neutral on Doge. I would hope it would come down. I'm just sick of the meme coins, but we'll see. It's never financial advice, guys. I don't know if Stellar is going to go to 17 cents. All I will say on it is I think it looks a little bit better than a lot of other things, but obviously anything could happen. Well, I don't know. The question really is, can we continue forward here and go up to 40K? I think if we can, Bitcoin dominance would still rise too. I mean, there are some things that are definitely pointing to a rejection here. But other than that, I mean, the altcoins look not that great, but I mean, some of them look not, they're conflicting. Like Cardano looks pretty good, Stellar looks pretty good, XRP kind of neutral right now, I would say. Dot, like some of the Dot and AVAX, like the ones that kind of look like they formed the bubble pop pattern a little bit. What is it on the 3-day? That looks not bad. 2-day, not bad. You know, blood diamond, but still, like in terms of like the trigger wave there, not bad. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. We're gonna have a big move, I think, pretty soon. We're gonna definitely have a big move pretty soon. Let's see here. Oh, did I just cut out? So I don't know what's going to happen with CBDC. Why is my internet like? You guys able to hear me? Okay, is everything all right? Seems like we're not getting a good connection right now, which is red in my thing. But in terms of CBDC, I think it'll be a while before it happens. But yeah, potentially they would be able to control people and control what they buy. And yeah, it should be back on now. We had a little lag. You control what they buy and things like that. I think that'll eventually come to fruition. I think it'll eventually happen. It seems like just over time. I think it's going to take years, though. I think it'll probably be, say Trump wins in 2024, it'll probably be whoever becomes president in 2028 where CBDC actually becomes really relevant. They may start trying to implement it maybe in 2025, 2026, but I think it'll be more like end of this decade that you see. Maybe like economy does a lot worse, 2024, 2025, they start using like CBDC to kind of, I don't know, try to bail us out or whatever, But yeah, ultimately it does kind of seem like that's, that's starting to happen. So yeah, but let's see here. What's my opinion on BRICS? Well, Mexico basically is joining it now. In terms of like them, so I haven't followed it too much, but in terms of them stopping using like the US dollar and stuff like that, I think you'll get kind of a dead cat bounce off of that, and I think a lot of that's factored in. I also think that's going to make the Fed pretty nervous and going to kind of make them want to raise rates more, which would in turn kind of create more stagflation potentially and bring down the the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. That's what I'm kind of thinking would happen with that, most likely. Now, in terms of Bitcoin reacting, I mean, it's up in the air. I mean, we don't know. I mean, will it continue to act as an inflation hedge like gold and silver, or will, we get a rude awakening and it'll bleed more? I really don't know. So far, it seems like it's proven to act more like gold and silver, but we really don't know. I also think, ultimately, you may see a pullback with kind of everything, including Bitcoin, gold, and silver, with traditional markets relatively soon in the month of April. If not the month of April, it's probably going to be a sell in May, walk away type thing. So, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, you're seeing this high end gold. I want to look at silver as well because that's been up a good amount. Yeah, I mean, you're getting that 20. Last time you came down a bit there with that weekly. Weekly does look pretty good. I mean, I would say with more confidence, these can continue their rallies generally forward with a little bit more confidence than Bitcoin, just because of more historical evidence on this. And I do think like the main concern I have with Bitcoin just right now would be the probably the 3-day about to get that like triple kind of bearish div there. I said it earlier in the beginning of this live stream that ETH was different. I misspoke. It's really like the same thing in terms of that. I mean, you're not printing it yet, so it doesn't mean too much yet, but it would be a good probability, definitely a bit over 50% that that 1900, that these areas right now you'll get a pullback from them. Yeah, I mean, I think he will. I think Trump probably will. I'm not saying I like Trump or, I'm not saying I'm necessarily a Trump supporter or anything like that, but I'm just saying from what I'm witnessed, what the polls are showing, I mean, it seems like he'll get the nomination, and we're in a recession. Things, Biden's approval ratings aren't too high. I think Trump's got a good shot of beating him. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that just came out. You believe something really bad will happen in 3 months. Elaborate on that, Crypto Itachi. I saw that article. So that means we're going to have less access to oil, and oil is going to start skyrocketing. Appreciate you, David. Yeah, I mean, the thing in terms of bullish and bearish, if you're asking somebody, are they bullish or bearish, that's the wrong question to ask. It's more about a strategy. It's like, if this happens, then what do I do? You know, I mean, if Bitcoin follows this trajectory downward, what do I do? If Bitcoin instead goes upward, what do I do? I don't think it's going to go that high, but let's say we go to 40K or something. What do I do? You know, I mean, you got to have a plan. And my plan is essentially DCA here for the next 10 months, DCA into Bitcoin for the next 10 months, similar to here, similar to here. And for Ethereum, I am waiting to start DCAing into Ethereum and starting to convert my Bitcoin into Ethereum, to convert some of it at least into Ethereum when this turns into red here, kind of in this area. I'm actually looking a little bit more at the 12-day to do this. Yeah, this one I think would be, because this is a October 19 to July, so it's like an 8-month period essentially. Yeah, July, August, September, yeah, or a 10-month period. So I think the 10-month period there would be really good, and that would bring us out to, you know, if this starts in May, let's say it's a May, sell in May, walk away, you get a bloodbath in May. That would be a nice start in May to, you know, May to January, February DCA in. So yeah, really enjoy your live streams. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'll see you, Crypto Itachi. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. So that's right there what I'm looking at that point. The 12-day does not look good here. 12-day does not look good here. In terms of this, yeah, I mean, it could be something like that. It's looking similar, very similar to this area. According to this, you would come up a little bit higher, but you're getting close if it's like that. You definitely are getting a big close if it's like that. Yeah. Let's just see. So futures are down. If we look at Fox Business here, yeah, it's all about like, yeah, it's all things that would probably tell us that. I think it's going to be like, they're going to get part of this right, unless they get both of them wrong, but I think they're going to get the dollar kind of wrong. I think that's already factored in, priced already in, and I think the Dixie somehow will rise here, get a dead cat bounce. I think that this is kind of saying that oil is going to rise. I think that this is kind of already starting to get factored in. It may rise a bit more, but I think as the Fed kind of steps in more and sounds more hawkish with this and continues to raise rates, I think it's going to start to come down. And I think we're pretty close to getting, you know, that drop down and then getting into recession. Okay, what do I expect when the upgrade happens with ETH and staking? So that, I think there's going to be a lot of ETH that's, you know, made available to sell. My guess is that it would be more of a sell the news type thing, but there is going to be a little bit of a supply shock, which could keep it up. So fundamentals are kind of iffy there, kind of like hard to say. In terms of the charts, I think it will get a sell-off, continue to bleed against Bitcoin. I mean, I don't think it's going to be this bad, but I think you could do, that's kind of worst case scenario, come down to these areas, but you could at least come down over here, you know what I mean, down another 20-30% against Bitcoin. So yeah. So that's my opinion right there. I'm curious about like Atom Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean the 3-week doesn't have blood diamond there. I mean, I don't think this looks too good, but in terms of like, it always hits this kind of area. My guess is that you may come down to kind of here in the summer, and that's a good place to probably get into Atom potentially. So yeah. Just curious about a few of the like Meta. Yeah, these really got a good jump. Wow, that's wild. 128%. Wow, even more than Bitcoin, guys. but you are getting overheated in a lot of these places. I mean, if you look at the daily, when's the last time the daily was that overheated? Ooh, well, you came up higher there, but 18, yeah, could be kind of like that. Back in more of a gradual kind of decline downward. I mean, that could have been the bottom just because it crashed so much, but I do think you'll get close to it again. Maybe at least 118 or something of that nature. Kind of back at April numbers right there. Let's look at Algo. Algo has got some good fundamentals. I know a lot of smart people who like it. Yeah, that's another one that's like in the bubble pop pattern formation, and it definitely looks. Actually, I was expecting it to look a little bit more bullish. It doesn't look as good as I would have liked it to, actually. It's actually, I would say, neutral to more bearish here. I mean, the weekly doesn't look terrible, but this, yeah, just not looking as good as I would have liked. Money flow not looking bad, but no trigger waves like, Cardano has or a few others. So, yeah, nothing too significant here. You do have the bubble pop pattern, which is not bad, so yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this one kind of jumped up a bit more here. And then we kind of called the top pretty well in this. That dropped down. Then you got the blood diamond. So I would think this would continue downward. Yeah, I would think this would most likely continue downward. Roll over some more, or those recent dumps were just a tease. Render. Let's look at render, sure. Yeah, kind of the same with OP. I mean, that looks not bad at all on the 3-day. If you do come into an altcoin season, that could continue. Daily doesn't look good by any means, though. So, yeah, that doesn't... Other than, like, the 2-day, nothing too significant here. 2-day and 3-day, not bad. Other than that, nothing looks too great, in my opinion. Appreciate the follow. Heard Hillary Clinton. No way, Fibonacci. Revolved Gaming, I don't even. Oh, is it this one? So I've heard of this. What is this? There's the Ultra one too. Yeah, I mean, you're hitting like this big area, I guess. Kind of neutral there. You do have the bullish div, which does not look bad. The problem is, I mean, you came up a little bit, but then look what happened there. This one worked out pretty well. Maybe it'll be more like that one. Money flow is kind of coming out, though. I don't know. Does it have it in it? I don't know. I think we're relying more on an altcoin season here. That's probably not going to happen, but yeah. How's that Ultra one? Yeah, this one. This one had some good fundamentals. You guys may know more about it than me. The trigger wave there, not bad. I don't know. Yeah, you almost kind of want to buy this, you know what I mean? You're almost kind of curious about. I think the thing with Bitcoin right now is it's risky not to have any Bitcoin, and at the same time it's risky to have a lot of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like it's more of like just DCA time, like accumulation year. 100x in the bull, maybe. Probably more like 20 to 50. Yeah. This looks like it may be able to continue down farther against Bitcoin. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Matic, we have to. Daily doesn't look good. 2-day neutral, 3-day neutral. Yeah, I would say this looks worse than a lot of things, and it's kind of indicative of just, kind of this rally ending. Yeah, I think this one's generally probably going to come down. I think Matic's kind of had its day. Excuse me. Viat? I don't know what. Yeah, a lot of these AI ones are. Be careful with these guys. I mean, that doesn't look good in the weekly. I would think this would come down. Yeah. So yeah, Cole, that's a good question. Ultimately, you know, I do have a trade in, actually two trades in the Discord, and nothing big yet. But I am really looking to this money flow crossover in the 6 hour. I think is going to be a good place to look to a short. 4 hour as well. Look to go short. You know, this money flow crossover is good. You're probably going to, you know, bounce up a little bit farther here. You know, a lot of shorts are probably open pretty recently down here. So you got to kind of scare those away. But I do think ultimately the daily, that's once that confirms, that's going to be pretty good for a short. 2 days especially, 2 day and 3 days especially here. And it's similar to 2019 in that aspect where it took three, you know, a triple bearish div here. Same thing there, triple bearish div. And then you were done essentially. So yeah, and then you had quite a bit down to go. So if it's like that, you're kind of going to be heading down. Fetch AI, is that I think I've looked at that. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately you're probably, I think that most of the move has happened. I think a lot of these AI ones are going to ultimately go to zero, which is typical of what happens. But yeah, I think this is going to kind of head down. Well, not this one necessarily going to zero, but you know, I think they're going to come back down. The only reason they're up is because of ChatGPT and all that stuff. So other than that, like fundamentally nothing, not too much. I'm going to look at Phantom a little bit. Yeah, you had the blood diamond there, and then this looks pretty good in terms of like curvature, money flow. This is like one of those ones where 2 day and 3 day look pretty good. And then weekly, not so good with those RSIs in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, true. Blood diamond there. Yeah. AI has had some bad press too. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll actually pause development for 6 months. I don't know though. We'll see what happens. What do you guys think of it? I mean, what would you say? I mean, how many jobs do you think are going to be lost over it? Like in terms of what could be done right now with it? I mean, it can do stuff, but it's like not that great at it. You know what I mean? It's still like where you can understand like how it's just like a more advanced Google search in a lot of ways, I think. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely like a lot of flaws with it, but you know, it's getting there. So yeah. Where was? Yeah.
Another strong day for stocks.
China coming after you. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like it's all in the news about like currency war, like you know, dollar not doing good. I think you're gonna get some type of dead cat bounce here, just because like you know people are taking money out of banks. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of. I feel like the flopping gropers here are probably gonna lose out, but yeah. Brazil versus Saudi Arabia, they're not the Chinese. Yeah. EOS, oh man. The EOS is like one of those ones that just really did not do what people thought, at least in the last bull run. And this obviously, for pretty obvious reasons, this doesn't look. But yeah, I get where you guys are coming from. That weekly, not bad. This would be, yeah, I mean, it would be one if you wanted to mess around with. It would be one that looks better than a lot of the other ones right now. I would be more inclined to mess around with a few of the other ones that I told you about, but yeah. What was the? how's like platinum doing? I'm just curious about like some of the other metals. I mean, that decade was damn good for it. Let's see here. 500%. What's gold? I want to compare that to. Does it outperform? Or was gold better than during this decade? I don't even. Would gold come up? Oh, kind of the same. So it's kind of similar, yeah. Copper, maybe? Yeah, it's actually, let's go down to monthly here. Yeah, they all kind of follow gold to a certain extent. Copper, and then let's see. We looked at gold. I'm pretty bullish for the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, I think we may have a pullback for a lot of this stuff pretty soon, or either if it's not this month, probably next month in May, like a sell in May, walk away type thing. But yeah, I think it'll do well next 3 to 5 years. I think gold could hit 3,000 easily. Let's see. Yeah, Cole, that's a good point. I mean, AI, like everything else, will get better over time. Yeah. But I mean, with the thing too is with the internet, like it does, the internet still gets better over time. But if you look at like the internet, like versus like, you know, how it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, like it's not that much. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not that much. It's just, it's cheaper. And I mean, it is better, but it's not, even like 2015, 2016, like not that much different. So maybe AI kind of stays where it's at for a while. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, cattle. Curious about how this is. Wow. So, wow. All right, was this all right? I don't even. This one, yeah, CME maybe. Trying to find the data here. Yeah. I mean, okay. So like my main guess here is double top. And because one, nothing goes up forever, and two, as you come into the recession, it finally will start to kind of come down. I'm thinking double top, and then this just comes down with a lot of other things. Maybe it could continue forward. I don't know. But I mean, you're up a lot, guys. I mean, you're probably only up to like 20%, given 100%, but still, I mean, yeah. SCLP, I don't even know what that is. Scallop. I don't know, man. It's tough to say with these like small caps. It's weird. Is it an AI one? I don't even. It looks pretty good with money flow. Definitely looks good with money flow and some other things here, but lower time frame's kind of neutral. How's this guy? This is just not. Potential double top, bottom there. I mean, if you're trying to gamble on this, I guess this would be kind of the place to try to get in, but yeah, I don't know. I'd give it a few months at least. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end this stream right now. So I always appreciate you guys. Check out my exclusive Discord down below if you're interested in that. With we have a really good community and some exclusive TA, long-term, short-term stuff. I have a lot of stuff on primarily crypto, but stock market as well too. Gold, silver, pretty much everything. But primarily crypto is going to be the most updates. And yeah, if you guys are interested in my course, really good beginner course, link down in the description below. There's a 20% off discount code down there as well. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. A lot of people have really liked it. And let's see. Yeah, that should be it for now. If you sign up to any exchanges down below, guys, and deposit at least $100, use my link down below, deposit at least $100, I'll give you 1 free month of my exclusive Discord. Just shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID. So, yeah, if you're interested, check that out. Obviously, I'm not right 100% in the Discord. You know, it's not financial advice. We'd all be billionaires very quickly if anyone was right 100% of the time. But I think it's a really good resource. So, yeah, guys, check it out if you're interested. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.